In this video, we have the complete recording of the Twitter Spaces session conducted by Simple Energy on April 10th, the first episode in which the founder CEO Suhas shares his thoughts, updates, and also answers a couple of questions. Hope this would be helpful for a lot of you. If you agree with me, like the video, comment, subscribe the channel to make me post regular updates on regular basis. My name is Sumit, a 2017 Green Initiative awardee and a renewable energy enthusiast. Thanks for tuning in and welcome to Green Tech Sumit.
Hello and welcome to the session. It's 5 minutes before the clock ticks 7 p.m., which is our scheduled time for the Twitter Spaces. Let's wait for some more people to join in by then. Thank you so much for joining us on a summer Sunday evening. We are live from Bengaluru and the weather is just perfect. We are just waiting for a few people to join in till 7 p.m. You can invite your friends, automobile and technology enthusiasts, and anyone you can feel who can learn something from this session. We'll be just starting off in a couple of minutes for an informative and engaging session with our very good founder and CEO Suhas. It is almost 7 p.m. If you want to call up anyone, invite anyone to the spaces, please do. We'll be starting within a minute. We are really happy to see the number of people that are joining every minute. We are less than 30 seconds away to just begin this session. It's 7 p.m. and we have more than 150 people in this room. So we can begin the session. Hello everyone, good evening and thank you so much for joining us on this Sunday evening. This is Vedant, the social media manager at Simple Energy. Safety around electric mobility is the hot topic these days. And today we'll be hosting a session around the same. And we'll be talking about electric vehicles and the safety concerns around them. With Simple One deliveries getting very closer, we wanted to spend some time with the community to talk about some relevant topic and address the questions you might have. And to answer all of that, we have none other than Suhas, the CEO of Simple Energy with us. Over to you, Suhas.
Thanks, Vedant. Hi, guys. Thank you for being here. This is a really exciting space for me as well as our first session. And Twitter gives a great platform for us to directly connect with our Simple Energy followers, customers, and audience base who really wants to know about Simple and also things related to battery safety and electric vehicles as for so. Getting back to it, let's start with the exciting feedbacks that I've been getting with on Twitter and all other questions that have been following in. Over to you, Vedant.
Yeah, that's true, Suhas. All right, let's just get in with the session. So the session will be around 30 minutes and we have already shortlisted some questions that you guys asked on that tweet that we posted. So we'll be talking about that first, and towards the end, we'll open the floor for listeners to directly post their questions to Suhas if the time permits. With that out of the way, over to you, Suhas. You can start.
Yeah, so awesome. So great. So today's topic, I think we should first get into with battery safety is what many people have been asking. Why it happens? What sort of testing is required? What are the ways of avoiding fire issues, or how do you go about developing a battery pack itself? So fundamentally, at Simple Energy or be it any electric vehicle, everything forms or builds upon a platform called BMS, motor controllers, motors, or battery pack itself. So when we speak of all those components, we need to really first address the continent, the space that we are in, or for example, the operative space that we are in. Right. So India, for example, has varied temperatures across different cities, and the way of riding is also different. So we need to first key address that, and we over the past 4.5 years have collected a lot of data addressing or understanding how specifically a particular battery pack should be built, and going about it, what causes a thermal runaway. So to understand that, it is purely three things. One is, of course, your cell quality that comes in. Second is how great your electronics or electrical platform is, and third is how good your packaging is. Right. Many of people confuse it with thermal stability as well, though it has a role to play. But I think more than that, it is about how structurally and how advanced the battery platform is being developed on. So having said that, as we understand, a lot of people are right now facing these issues. Whoever has bought EVs and also have been seeing a lot of things on news channels and everywhere. So to address thermal runaways, to address any kind of issues with EVs, especially with battery packs and powertrain, we need to first figure out what exactly is a problem statement. And in the problem statements are three. One is, of course, your quality issues that comes with manufacturing, because there's lack of R&D talent in India, considering how EVs are being developed or in the Western country. India is more like an assembler and seller rather than a R&D assembling and selling model. Second is the right case, right? Everyone here has a different way of writing. There's no set pattern to it, so we need to understand that. And third is, of course, the way we address the thermal issues, right? And then going about it, we collect this data and start developing from scratch. So how do we do that? We first address the problem of BMS, as we see, or we address the problem of thermal issues or mechanical issues as well. So because packaging alongside with your thermal, alongside with the electronics or I say embedded platform, as we say, has to be clearly sorted out, and that's when you go into safety issues. I mean safety webs or measures that you try to take in. So there are three layers that simple one does. One is, of course, your structural safety. Second is your cell safety or cell quality, and third is your fuse boards, or as we call short circuit boards, which is again combined with your BMS and your BCU units that you develop internally. And then this boils down to your motor controllers, then your motor itself. Right. So these are the key components that we really look at in terms of addressing a certain point of view. And this is where simple one stands out. We have developed our structural, I would say. First, we are very thermally efficient. Second, we have developed our own PCM material, which helps the battery pack operate at optimum temperature. So what do we say by optimum temperature? When we speak of optimum temperature, a cell can operate at a particular temperature. Given the point, it doesn't degrade itself. At the same time, doesn't get into thermal runaway or doesn't start affecting the whole overall efficiency plus thermal management of the battery pack itself. Being too cold, being too hot is again a problematic situation for the system. That's when your BMS comes in. It tries to operate. It tries to keep the battery pack at an optimum temperature and maintains the cell balance overall together. Then comes your short circuit boards or your PCB boards, as we say, or something that we call it as fuse board in a normal language. That protects to isolate a particular cell and communicates that to your BMS, and that BMS communicates to your PCU and all other things that play in that. Then comes your structural safety, where you have your pressure walls, where gases are formed, and you need to make your battery packs in such a way that there's no pressure built in a situation where the temperature outside is higher, the temperature inside is higher, and gases are released over the period of time, and you need to manage that with your pressure walls, which is again to be developed according to the situations. So these are the key things that a particular R&D firm or vehicle has to address first. Then comes your packaging level. How well have you thermally packed it, and then how well it is communicating with your motor controller and the motor itself. Because end of the day, if your motor controls are not efficient, it'll impact your battery pack, and the thermal management won't go right, and that's where you'll end up having a lot of issues. So it boils down to that particularly in terms of battery safety, and this is where Simple One has been standing out and has been working on this last 4 years. And especially in last 2 years, we have been having a great breakthrough through our own noble materials, our own proprietary BMSs, which can identify the minutes of errors. It has gone through 1.5 lakh kilometers of testing till date, and it has been through temperatures from below minus around 15 degrees to plus of 70 degrees. So it can withstand, our PCM can withstand around 400 degrees Celsius heat as well, so it doesn't catch fire. So these are the key points that we've been addressing over the period of time, and Simple One is very well equipped with all those things. And pretty much that sums up how battery safety has to be cared about or thought about in terms of how, developing a quality product going forward.
Wow, Suhas, that was very detailed and informative and very technological information you have provided there. Now, let's go through some questions that we received on the social media from the audience. Okay, and it comes around the safety concerns of electric vehicles. So the first question, it is a very common one across, but one person, Akash, has asked us, can you share some tips on how to get your battery to last longer? People are worried about having a big expense fuel down the line.
Okay, so this is a very interesting point of view to look at, or a question to look at, because a lot of people today assume that the battery packs rely only on warranty. They're defined or they're designed for lasting more than that. Right? Companies give you warranties to a certain period. That is, of course, with what IC vehicles also give. Today, if you buy an IC vehicle, you have the same warranty periods. But having said that, how do you save your battery pack? How do you manage your charging cycles, etc., etc. So understanding degradation and life cycle, there are two different topics and two different things to again. But the most common thing is, how do you increase your life cycle so that you don't have to replace your battery packs in 3 years, or what does it cost? So ideally, a battery pack which is designed for short kilometers, or which has a frequent charging cycle tends to wear out faster than a battery pack which takes the intervals of charging is much more further. So this is where the fundamental comes in. And when we speak of what are the key fundamentals to differentiate is, of course, fast charging, then which again is one more factor that comes in. So when we design a battery pack, we design for two things. One, of course, to last longer. Second is to give you the maximum range. So when we speak of maximum range, for example, you're traveling 30 kilometers a day and you have a range of 200 kilometers, you don't have to charge your vehicle for 5 days at least, at least 5 days to 6 days. So your life cycle is between 6 days. Whereas comparatively, where you are where you have a range of 100 kilometers, so you have to frequently charge within 3 days. So this again, gives you a freedom of not charging your battery packs every single day or every alternate day. Rather, charge it once a week, which extends your life cycle of the battery pack, and gives you better better feedback as well, and better quality remains in the battery packs, and degradation doesn't happen faster. Apart from that, because you have such a long range, you don't really have to worry about fast charging, because normally a two-wheeler takes 3 hours to charge in a normal way, where you have a fast charging can charge in 1 hour, 10 minutes, or 1 hour, depending on which scooter and what model or what kind of charging that it can take in. Having said that, fast charging is strict no, because of course, higher the C rating that comes in for charging, and that becomes a problem for the cell level, and cell balancing becomes an issue if you don't have a proper BMS integrated into it. So this is where everything comes in. So to avoid all this, you need to really figure out what is the right way of doing it. That is by following the right charge cycle, where you have longer distance to travel in a particular scooter, avoiding fast charging every single time that you can. Of course, when you have emergency, you can avoid it, and let the battery packs understand certain things. That is not a customer's point of view, but it has to be on the company level, where your BMS understands your right patterns. It starts understanding how a particular how a particular battery pack has been used. Apart from that, does your scooter or your vehicle has a smart understanding of optimum temperature? So because it needs to understand, for example, you say you're traveling every day at 7 o'clock, and you're shutting out the scooter at 6 o'clock. So your battery or your scooter or your vehicle should be integrated so well enough that you can set a timer on it, and you can have half an hour before a vehicle being preparing itself for the whole run. So your batteries get to an optimum temperature because it doesn't have a cold start, and you can increase your life cycle then. So this is the common things. I think there's one more. There's a big company in Western world that's called Tesla, which does this to improve, of course, your life cycles in that scenario. So it clearly boils down to longer range, so that you can clearly differentiate between life cycles instead of charging every day, because a lot of companies today offer you 80 kilometers or 100 kilometers, which reduces your charging, reduces your life cycle because you're charging very frequently. So rather choose something that can give you 200 kilometers, because average human doesn't travel more than 330 kilometers a day, and you last for 7 days, and you just go home and charge it in a normal charger, and that's where your increase of life cycle happens. Having said that, 3 years warranty, of course, comes with simple one, but I can assure people that that don't wear out very soon. You can expect a longer life, and things like that. So So this pretty much answers the question of life cycle and also how to protect your battery packs from wearing out. And it's never a huge charge, so you don't have to worry for 6 to 7 years once you get the scooter minimum if you follow all the directions given by the company.
Oh, that is a lot of useful information Suhas. But just to follow up on that, if you were to elaborate specific to simple one, would the practices change?
Elaborate on simple one. Okay, actually not really. But things we wanted to make it clear because a lot of BMSs, a lot of other sides of things that form a battery pack had to be developed from ground up. The reason being is a lot of BMSs out there are not smart enough. They don't understand basic things that is required in terms of managing the voltages, managing the balances of the cells, and managing the thermal stuff. That really doesn't happen much often. So we had to do it from ground up, giving us a battery which understands the user case very well. We collect more data to understand for the testings and for the development on the battery packs to make them safer. Not only safer but also improve battery health going forward, because we really need to understand every battery pack that'll be used for it to self-adjust and start understanding the right patterns. The way you have smartphones understanding your use case and suggesting you certain things. Right, so this is where simple one is being differentiated very well, because we are vertically integrated and we have been doing this since last 4 years, and also we have a very close tracking of the degradation that happens over the period of time. This is again lower than compared to other battery packs, because we collect data and we design accordingly, rather than we going out there and designing something for the market fit of a particular city rather than the whole country. So we have integrated very well. So simple one definitely has advantage on that part.
That's a lot of information on battery health. On a very similar note, we have another question coming in from Shrivastava. So he wants to ask about the best riding habits to get more range or efficiency per charge.
Okay, riding habits. So you have 4 modes, right? You have eco, normal, and etc. So there's always a consideration happens at eco mode, which few companies define it as 30 kilometers, few companies define it as 40 kilometers, few companies define it as 60 kilometers. So modes are fine to understand or differentiate on layman term, but when we speak of efficiencies, it boils down to energy consumption or thermal management of the entire pack or entire system. So eco mode definitely holds up much higher, but when you have a frequency of traveling to a certain level, your normal modes do better than your eco modes do. So you definitely get better efficiencies than eco mode does in a lot of cases. But that again depends on your riding pattern, right? So of course, aggressive riding will hamper your certain ways of doing it, because of course the way you're braking, the way you're handling the scooter itself will determine your range over the period of time, plus your weight, etc. But that's not really the point which will make a big difference in terms of how a range is supposed to be extracted, or how it's supposed to be defined in terms of efficiency graphs. So it's more to do with how better it is equipped to understand eco, normal, sports modes, right? So normal modes tend to do better than eco modes because your consumption, your thermal management is done better. So efficiencies definitely increase if you're traveling at 45-50 and you're not pulling the vehicle at eco mode for that. It is always advised to put it in normal mode if you're continuously traveling at 45-50. If you really need an eco mode, I would recommend traveling at 35-40 or maybe 30-35, not 35-40. To extract better ranges, and if you're and above 50, then you can always that's the modes are there, you can always use better things. But advisable, travel at normal mode in 45 to 50 kmph for extracting a few kilometers more and improving the efficiency per charge.
As we're talking about more range and eco modes, so in follow-up to that, Ritik wanna ask, does Simple One have regenerative braking, and will it increase the range?
Yeah, of course. Regenerative braking is part of any development. That is a core, anyways. That's understood. There's not a special feature that we need to be posting about. It's more to do with basics of things that we really want to extract from a particular motor. Every motor or every type of motor has a philosophy assigned to it, and how you integrate and how much can you remove or sorry extract from that regenerative braking technology is something that is up to the company that is developing it. So a simple one is well equipped with it. It is more efficient. It's very well efficient to extract few kilometers and definitely increase the range provided where if you have been using in the city and there's a lot of braking.
Thank you, Suhas, and I really hope that I'm pronouncing the names correctly. Please excuse if I have skipped any pronunciation. So, moving on, Nikhil and Jerry are asking about the recent partnership that we did with C4V. What are its implications, and if the new battery technology will be seen in Simple One or not?
Well, I'll answer the second part first. No, absolutely not. Simple One will not have the C4V battery packs or the cells, sorry, because we have already released it for production, and we are under pre-production trials, and it's all done, and we are waiting for it to finally come out so that we start giving to the customers that have been waiting since last 10 months. And for other upcoming vehicles, we have partnered with C4V for main reasons is we get a better hands on with the supply chain. We don't have to really depend on imports and other parties for longer terms. And of course, we will be exploring this partnership for our next two-wheeler platform and four-wheeler platform that will be going forward. Not so simple.
Okay, so talking about four-wheeler platforms, can audience have any confirmation if Simple is gonna move on with a car and a bike next year or in the coming years?
Bike, yep. There are a lot of plans on that because we have been developing the platforms equally, and it'll be better in terms of the offering that will be coming with that. Apart from that, wish I could share a lot of things here, but unfortunately, we can't. We'll be doing this end of this year. We have lots of developments happening. A lot of high talent has been coming into the organization, and we've been hiring a lot of good multi-talented individuals who have worked on multiple things in the last 10 years in terms of EVs especially, and we'll share more development going forward. We'll share more news on the development going forward.
Okay, so I'm just doing a quick time check. We are left with 9 more minutes for the session. We have, let's just take the next question from Taha. It's a very good one, and he has a couple of questions. So since Simple One has two battery packs, which one will be consumed first while riding? And the second question is, how safe is it to charge a battery at your home?
A great question, because a lot of people, I think, have been asking this. Before I explain it from technical point of view, I'd like to tell everyone that Simple One is designed in a way where these things don't need to be worried about. Your scooters will manage all this by itself, be it charging or discharging, be it any kind of cell balancing, switching between the battery packs. The frequencies are better. It has been tested for a lot of extensive use cases. So the answer to the first part, which is that both batteries will be discharged accordingly to the modes that you're riding on, because we need to maintain the discharge or see how well, because different modes have different discharge ratios. So the battery packs will be adapting itself accordingly to the modes. So you don't really have to worry about it. And apart from that, the safe to charge second battery pack from any plug point, it is not a science that needs to be worried about. It is not something that really will bother anyone. It can definitely be charged at home very well, and it'll be safe enough. You don't have to worry about anything, because it's a small battery pack, well designed for charging anywhere, anytime. So pretty much, both things are sorted in terms of Simple One.
Wow, that was very informative and innovative from Simple. But yeah, the confusion around this topic is very understandable. People in general in the Indian market haven't really seen EVs with two batteries before. So we'll just conclude this session
also,
over
but,
here.
But just to highlight, the confusion is not really about which battery pack or how the integration is happening. The confusion is about how much of data is being collected to design a particular system, right? everything has to come through that. And you need to spend some time understanding how to develop certain things. It cannot be the case where you tell the customer to adapt to certain things. No, the product has to be to a benchmark so that people just buy it and forget about it. Don't really worry about parking in the shade or parking it here or charging it here or charging it there. Nothing. It has to be designed pitch perfect to the consumer use case, rather than figuring it out after selling that, oh, you have to do this, you have to do this. You definitely don't want to be handed over a menu card or instruction card once you buy a scooter. If that is the case, then that is not a well designed scooter. So Simple is all about people, designing for people and designing for racing ahead in terms of EVs and building quality products, safer products, rather than something that goes too fast or too long. Performance and long range is handy, that comes in with the scooter itself, but our first priority is always safety, quality, and something that can go very way. So to understand for a consumer, Simple is very simple, but it is built on a very complex system. Uh, and plus, you can park it anywhere, charge it anywhere, do anything you want, and there'll be no problem with it.
Cool. Before we go ahead, if you guys have any questions, you can always tag Simple Energy or Suhas on your tweets and replies. Maybe we can make hashtag Suhas Simplifies the regular show on Twitter Spaces. What do you think about it, Suhas?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be more excited, more often to answer all these questions. I think there are many questions that we need to answer have been flowing in. But again, we'll have 30-minute sessions regularly to answer all the queries our community has.
Yes, definitely. So as we are about to reach time, Suhas, do you have anything else that you want to sum up with?
Yeah, before ending, I would quickly like to touch upon where we currently stand as Simple. We have been growing very exponentially. We from 20-member team, we are around 250 people today. Weekly basis, we are bringing in more people, experienced people from different different verticals of the industry. There's a lot of hard work, dedication, dozens of grinding hours that has gone through. We have had our final testings going on with us, and they look fantastic. We have made just to cue. We have made a lot of changes. We have a lot of upgrades to that scooter, so the wait period is justified. Apart from that, we are also working on a strong supply chain partnerships. Few improvements in the scooter itself for going forward. Because once we deliver Simple One, there's only one factor that people need to appreciate. Will be the scooter itself and nothing else. Because for us as a team, Simple One has been very, very important and a core development since last 4 years especially, and this will again speak for itself once it's in the hands of the consumers, and all our hard works and labor that has gone in to develop this, it's gonna be paying off. Having said that, we're just waiting for some minor things to align, and while we have been few bit late, I would say it's because we have not attempted a particular form factor like this, so it takes some time for perfecting it. But at the same time, we will be addressing dealership points. We'll be addressing delivery points, which is not only restricted to a particular city but entire India. So this is and for the final moments, I'd like to also address the point that we're also working on supply chain. We're working on integrating it to our system so that we can supply as many scooters as possible without any delays and reduce the waiting period of times even after we start delivering. And not only to few particular cities but entire India, wherever we can reach in our capacity. And also at the end of it, I would like to thank everyone who is present here. Pre-booking customers who have been supporting us throughout the waiting period, and we have seen 200, 300% increase in our booking since the announcement of that 300-kilometer range variant that is coming in, and it's been great from enthusiast point of view as well, for showing constant trust in Simple Energy and making it more than just an automobile company, but rather a movement, a mission that is to make India a technology hub and bringing the change that we really need. And we at Simple Energy stand by the statement of be the change. And that's something that we are very proud of. And I'm sure once we start delivering, which is around the corner, everyone's going to be loving the product.
Thank you so much, Suhas. I am sure everyone loved the session and got a lot of information from it. So we would like to thank every one of you for supporting us. That's all for the evening. Thank you for tuning in on this Sunday. We'll see you again very soon, and we'll be looking forward to host more such activities. Thanks, everyone.
Share the video with your friends who like it. It also motivates me to make more content like this. Have a nice day.